Picture this moment. Philadelphia, July 2025. The Club World Cup quarterfinals. Chelsea versus Palmeiras. 65,000 fans packed into Lincoln Financial Field on the 4th of July. Fireworks ready to light up the American sky. Cole Palmer opens the scoring for Chelsea with that trademark cold finish, but then this 18-year-old Brazilian kid wearing Palmeiras green equalizes with an absolute screamer from an impossible angle. The whole stadium loses it. After the final whistle, with confetti still in the air, Palmer walks straight up to the teenager, tries to have a conversation, but there's one massive problem. Estêvão doesn't understand a single word of English. Palmer has to laugh it off. The moment is hilarious, but his message was crystal clear even without words. I am excited for you, come join us. At that very moment, Cole Palmer saw something special that not everyone else fully appreciated. Fast forward to today, and honestly, Palmer's instinct has been proven absolutely, completely, undeniably right. Welcome back, Chelsea fans. Before we dive deeper into this incredible story that's still unfolding at Stamford Bridge, drop a comment below and tell us which country you're watching from. Whether you're in London, Lagos, Los Angeles, or anywhere else in the world, we want to hear from you. And if you're loving this content, smash that like button and hit subscribe because we've got more amazing Chelsea stories coming your way every single week. Let's rewind to that Club World Cup moment because it's where everything truly began. This wasn't just any friendly chat between players. This was Cole Palmer, one of the Premier League's brightest stars, taking time after a competitive match to personally welcome a future teammate. Think about that for a second. Palmer had just played 90 intense minutes against this teenager, watched them score a goal that nearly knocked Chelsea out of the competition, and his first instinct wasn't to celebrate the win. It was to go find Estêvão and make him feel welcome. The funny part of the story makes it even better. Estêvão later revealed he had to ask Dario Esugo to translate what Palmer said because he genuinely didn't understand English. Palmer laughed about it too, admitting that Brazilian didn't catch a single word. But here's what makes this moment so powerful. Despite the language barrier, the energy and belief came through loud and clear. Sometimes the most important messages don't need translation. They just need sincerity. But Palmer didn't just make small talk that night in Philadelphia. He genuinely warned everyone about what Estêvão would need when he arrived in England. Palmer told the media afterwards, when Estêvão comes to England, people need to give him time to adapt to the culture and the language. He was being protective. He was being thoughtful. And then Palmer added the crucial part that's proven to be prophecy. You can see he's got amazing quality. Now here's a question for all of you watching. How many top players would take the time to publicly defend a teenager who hasn't even joined the club yet? How many would warn fans to be patient with someone who could potentially take their position? Drop your thoughts in the comments because Palmer's character in this moment deserves serious respect. Palmer understood something fundamental about adaptation because he'd lived it himself. When he left Manchester City for Chelsea, people questioned whether he could handle being the main man. There were doubts, there was pressure, but Palmer delivered beyond anyone's wildest expectations, becoming one of the Premier League's most lethal attackers. He recognized that same journey ahead for Estêvão, and instead of staying silent, he used his platform to set realistic expectations while backing the kid's talent. That's leadership right there. The transfer itself was massive business for Chelsea. Estêvão signed for an initial fee of approximately £29 million, with the deal potentially rising to £51 million with add-ons. And he penned a contract running until June 2033. That's an 8-year commitment to an 18-year-old. That's Chelsea betting huge on potential. And based on Palmer's assessment after one 90-minute match, you'd have to say they made the right call. When Estêvão finally arrived at Cobham training ground this past summer, the expectations were enormous. Fans had watched his highlights from Brazil. They'd seen that goal against Chelsea at the Club World Cup. They knew about the massive price tag. Estêvão himself admitted he was nervous but excited, telling Chelsea's media team, "I am very happy. It feels very rewarding to represent Chelsea, one of the biggest clubs in the world." But would he be ready for the Premier League's intensity? Would the investment pay off immediately? Many believed he needed more time in Brazil, another season to develop before making the jump to English football. Palmer's belief was validated almost immediately. In preseason friendlies, the chemistry between Palmer and Estêvão was obvious to anyone watching. They understood each other tactically. Palmer was helping the teenager settle, talking him through games, explaining the speed and physicality of English football. The mentorship had already begun before a single competitive match was played.
But the real breakthrough moment came in October against Ajax in the Champions League. Estêvão scored from a penalty, becoming Chelsea's youngest ever Champions League goalscorer at 18 years and 181 days old. But it wasn't just about the goal. He was named man of the match with 70 touches on the ball, 10 crosses completed, and he absolutely dominated that game against experienced European opposition. The kid didn't just show up for his Champions League debut. He announced himself to European football with authority. Think about what Palmer must have felt watching that performance. The amazing quality he saw back in Philadelphia? Everyone could now see it under the Stamford Bridge lights. The teenager who couldn't speak English a few months ago was now breaking Chelsea records and tearing apart Champions League defenses like he'd been doing it for years. But wait, there's an even bigger moment that proved Palmer's prediction right beyond any doubt. Let me ask you this before we continue. Do you remember where you were when Estêvão scored that Liverpool winner? Comment below if you celebrated that goal because it was genuinely one of the most dramatic moments of the entire season. October 4th, 2025. Chelsea versus Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Estêvão came off the bench in the 75th minute, and in the 95th minute he scored the winner, turning in Marc Cucurella's cross to seal a 2-1 victory. The goal sent Stamford Bridge into absolute delirium. Enzo Maresca was sent off for his celebration, Chelsea fans were bouncing, and Liverpool, the reigning champions, suffered their third consecutive defeat. After the match, Estêvão told Brazilian media he couldn't describe his emotions, saying it was incredible and indescribable, making God, his family, and his teammates. But here's what makes this moment even more special in the context of Palmer's prediction. This wasn't just any goal. This was Estêvão's first Premier League goal, against Liverpool, in stoppage time, to win the match. The pressure couldn't have been higher, and the 18-year-old delivered like a seasoned veteran. Palmer's role in all of this goes deeper than just one conversation in Philadelphia. Estêvão himself revealed that Palmer is actively helping him settle at Chelsea, saying, "Cole Palmer is someone who's helping me settle in here, and they're speaking little by little, with Palmer passing on all the information about how to adapt." Palmer isn't just a teammate, he's become a mentor, a guide, someone helping this Brazilian teenager navigate a completely new world thousands of miles from home. The language barrier is still very real, by the way. Estêvão is learning English, but it's tough. He initially learned American English, while Palmer speaks very British English. This creates some funny moments where they don't fully understand each other's words, but somehow these two understand each other perfectly on the pitch. It's football understanding, not language understanding. That's what makes their connection so special and so effective. Even Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca sees the direct connection between these two players. He's compared Estêvão's development path to Palmer's journey, suggesting the Brazilian will eventually move from playing wide to becoming an inside player, just like Cole did at Manchester City, before transforming into Chelsea's main attacking threat. The parallels between their careers are remarkable and probably not coincidental. Here's another question for you. In 5 years' time, who do you think will be Chelsea's most important player? Will it still be Palmer, or will Estêvão have taken that crown? Be honest in the comments because this is going to be fascinating to watch unfold. What makes Palmer's early assessment so impressive is that he recognized not just the raw talent, but the character and mentality needed to succeed at the highest level. Think about it. Palmer could have seen Estêvão as direct competition for his position. He could have been cold or distant. He could have said nothing publicly and let the teenager figure it out on his own. Instead, Palmer chose to welcome him openly, defend him publicly, and mentor him privately. That's the mark of a true superstar. That's leadership. That's what creates a winning culture at a football club where players support each other instead of competing selfishly. Since arriving at Stamford Bridge, Estêvão has broken multiple records that prove Palmer's assessment was spot on. He's become the youngest player to assist in the Premier League for Chelsea. He's the youngest Brazilian to score a winning goal in a Premier League game. He's the youngest goal scorer in Chelsea's Champions League history. Every single prediction Palmer made about the kid's amazing quality is coming true, one record-breaking performance at a time.
The impact on Chelsea as a team has been massive too. For months, maybe even a full season, Chelsea relied almost entirely on Cole Palmer to create and score goals. If Palmer had an off day, Chelsea struggled. But now, Estêvão has become a genuine match winner in his own right. Chelsea suddenly have two players capable of deciding games single-handedly. That changes everything tactically and psychologically for opponents. Palmer's generosity in welcoming Estêvão also reveals something beautiful about his character. He understands football is bigger than individual glory. He sees the bigger picture. Brazilian players have a special history at Chelsea, from Thiago Silva's leadership to Oscar's flair to Willian's consistency to Davi Luiz's passion. Even Thiago Silva himself spoke to Estêvão before the transfer was finalized, telling him Chelsea has incredible structure and he would love the club. Palmer understood he was welcoming the next chapter of that Brazilian legacy, and he embraced it fully. There's also the practical football intelligence Palmer showed in that first 90-minute match. He could tell Estêvão had the technical ability, the tactical awareness, the composure under pressure, and the mentality to succeed at Chelsea. That's serious scouting ability. That's understanding what separates good young players from potentially great ones. Palmer saw all of that in Philadelphia and called it correctly. Recently, Palmer was asked which new face he expects to see in future FIFA World 11 teams, and his answer? Estêvão. Palmer said he thinks the Brazilian has all the ability in the world to go on and do great things, and he hopes it happens at Chelsea. That's the ultimate endorsement from one of the best players in world football right now. The trajectory is clear. Estêvão will continue developing under Palmer's guidance and Maresca's coaching. His English will improve, his understanding of Premier League football will deepen, his confidence will grow with every record-breaking performance. And soon, maybe sooner than people expect, Estêvão might actually become Chelsea's primary attacking threat, potentially even surpassing Palmer himself. And you know what? Palmer is actively helping facilitate that transition because he understands that's what's best for Chelsea Football Club. Look, Cole Palmer saw something in Philadelphia that took the rest of the football world months to fully appreciate. He saw a teenager with amazing quality who just needed time, support, and the right environment to adapt and thrive. He offered that support immediately, publicly and privately. He created an environment where Estêvão could succeed without overwhelming pressure. And now we're all watching this 18-year-old Brazilian wonder kid become exactly what Palmer predicted he would be. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's vision. That's understanding football at the absolute highest level. That's recognizing talent and character when others might only see potential. Cole Palmer wasn't just right about Estêvão Williams' technical quality. He was right about the person, the fit with Chelsea's culture, the timeline for adaptation, and the level this kid could reach. He was perfectly, completely, undeniably right about absolutely everything. So here's my final question for all of you amazing Chelsea fans watching this. Will Estêvão eventually become better than Cole Palmer himself? Can this 18-year-old Brazilian actually surpass his mentor and become Chelsea's biggest star for the next decade? Or will Palmer always remain the superior talent, the one who showed him the way? Drop your predictions below because this is going to be one incredible journey to watch unfold at Stamford Bridge. If you think Palmer deserves massive respect for how he's welcomed and mentored Estêvão with such class and generosity, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more in-depth Chelsea content like this, and make sure you share this with every Blues fan you know. Let's show some love to Cole Palmer for being not just a brilliant footballer, but an even better teammate and leader. The future of Chelsea looks incredibly bright with both of these superstars wearing the blue shirt. See you in the next one, Chelsea family. Keep the blue flag flying high.